Okay. All right. So let's talk about Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Okay. So I hope most of you guys are from any of the background. I mean, any of the computer background where you have the basics, understanding of basics in finance and operate. I mean, not in finance and operations. I mean I would say like most of you guys are from computers background where you will have the basic understanding of fundamentals of computer side and fundamentals of programming fundamentals like you know I would say like some of the data types and this programming side, looping structures and all those basic. I am thinking that all those basic things, so that you guys can understand this programming language, and parallelly it's a ERP tool. Okay, so fine. Let's start. Today's session, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, where we used to this is a ERP tool. So generally, what happens in generally in we have a different programming languages. One is Java, .NET, and there are so many programming languages we have. So when we are talking about programming languages, they are like completely using that programming language, and we'll develop and design a new software. That's how it works with the programming language. It works like it's completely from the base application we'll develop. So assume that there is nothing actually. So by using programming language like Java, .NET, or C, C++, by using those languages, we can completely build a new software and new kind of package thing that can be used for specific thing. For example, like if you take a supermarket, or if you take any small company or any organization or any bank, or any other business. For example, if you take any shops like any cloth showroom, or if you go anywhere in the world nowadays, most of them are using softwares, right? So to get that softwares, so by using some programming languages, they'll build that software and they'll make it ready. So end of the day, in every place in the programming language, so they will maintain the data, right? So definitely we should need one front end programming language, and parallelly we should have the database also. That's how it works in general ways. So now I'm coming to the our technology called ERP. So we call it as ERP. So I'm just opening the notepad to explain. So ERP is nothing but enterprise resource planning, right? Enterprise resource planning. So ERP is enterprise resource planning is nothing but it's all about like with big enterprises. Enterprises are nothing but it's big businesses. Like when you talk about Tata Enterprise or Reliance Industries, or there are so many industries and organizations which they are using ERPs. So why we are calling it as ERP? Since we have programming languages, and why we are going with ERP? So programming languages can make one software that will be used for a specific you know uh, set of company or set of business scenarios, right? When we are talking about ERP, it's a enterprise resource planning that will give you a huge software. It's kind of one predefined huge software, so that can be used for the complete enterprise operations. When you talk about, if you take any industries, for example Tata Industry or Reliance Industry or any other different industries, service industries, or any chemical industry, or medical industry. If you go to different industries where they'll do manufacturing or production and all those things, right? And see, the end of the day, what I am trying to say here, in a business or any industries, they'll have different departments. For example, purchase department, sales department, marketing department, and and production department, and the HR department, and there are multiple departments they'll have, where what happens, for each department they'll have different operations. To deal with that, if you want to build a new software, it will become a very huge, actually huge task, and it will take a lot of efforts, and it will take a lot of time to build that software. So to achieve that, everywhere in the world, so that ERP has been introduced. Okay, so what this ERP does, it will be supported for all the departments with a single software, that is ERP tool. So this ERP tool will have the multiple modules. We call it as different modules. Each module will serve for the different department. For example, if you talk about sales, so when you talk about sales, purchases, and HR department or production department or maintaining inventory, and distributing the goods and transportation, and there are many ways where we deal with this ERP. So to achieve all those things, the ERP will help us to serve all those departments in a single software, that is called ERP. In ERP, most of the people knows about SAP and Oracle apps and all those things. So Microsoft also, they have their own ERP called Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operations. Okay, so that's how the ERP works. So just a minute. Okay, I'm just logging into application and I'll show you how it looks like in the user interface. So as of now, currently I'm using the Microsoft trial version for demo purpose. From tomorrow's session, I'll try to set up my environment in on-premise, and that can be used so that whatever the changes I'm doing, that will be stored and we can reuse every time. Okay. As of now, I'm just trying to use the Microsoft online trial version, which can be used by anybody. It will be give 2 hours access for us. You can also use this for temporary purpose. Okay. Anyway, it's loading. By this time it loads, we'll try to continue, and later I can show you in the application how it looks like. Right. So just a minute. So if you see my screen, these are all the concepts we are going to discuss in high level. Introduction about Dynamics 365 F&O, what's new in D365 F&O, what's new in the sense like new concepts which has been introduced in this version, and history of Dynamics 365 F&O, and all the AX versions, and architecture of Dynamics 365, layers. I mean, these are all the different concepts in high level concepts. And when you go in detail, like there are so many concepts will be there. Data dictionary is one of the concepts which has so many concepts inside the data dictionary, and user interface and reports. So anyway, we have already opened this course content which is already discussed, actually given and shared with you. So this is actually the course content which we are going to discuss all these concepts, right? I'm going back to this. So some of the major features in Dynamics 365 F&O, it's an integrated ERP solution which can be integrated with other applications easily. It's highly customizable, and we can do customizations. Customizations in the sense we are doing by using extensions in the 365 F&O. It's completely web enabled now. We can open the application through browser, and actually this application is mainly working in different industries: manufacturing industries, e-business, wholesale, retail and service industries. Okay, so what are the major new things are there in this new version? I'm just these are all the main key points. Cloud hosted environments and extensions and overlaying concepts. Extensions is a new concept which has been introduced, and overlaying cannot be done in this application in D365 FNO. Now they have given the new concept is Visual Studio environment, development environment, packages, data entities, and web services. So this is the history of Dynamics AX. So Accepta has been introduced in 1983 by Eric and Previn Damgard. In 2002, Microsoft has been acquired, and they have different versions from AX 1.0 and in 2.0 and 3.0 and 4.0 and AX 2009, and then they have AX 2012. I mean R2, R3, and with the CO 13. And D365 FNO, we have different latest versions. Like in D365 FNO, we have 7.1, it has been started, 7th version, 8 and 10 also we have 10.0 point. Now I think so it's going that 3.4, 10.0.34. These are the different versions they have in D365 FNO. So this is a kind of architecture in high level architecture when we are talking about D365 FNO. So which will talks about there are mainly three tiers. One is clients and AOS and database. Clients are nothing but which is the end users where they are accessing the AX application, and they will do their day-to-day operation by using through client access. Client is nothing but as an end user. Once we are doing the implementation, the end users they will access the application, right? The users we call it as a clients. That whenever they are accessing, the clients will be interacting with the always interacting with the AOS, that is the server tier. So application object server. So that this is application object server will execute all the business logics, and that will be connected with the database. So database is nothing but it's a Microsoft SQL Server database. So which will stores the data and which will be completely dealing with the data. So it's kind of vice versa is connected. Client, AOS, and database. Database is connected with AOS and with the client. So this is how the major architecture. So here you can see like how exactly it works. And three-tier architecture is defined as having a separate database and server and client. And database stores the data, and server runs the application business logic, and client application allows the users to connect. So this is how the major understanding of three-tier architecture, right? So this is how actually the basic three-tier architecture what we generally discuss. And when I go back to the other things like so there are some applications like server architecture there, and we have layers concepts we have, and layers is all about like dealing with the development aspects. And when I go back, and we have different layers actually in this, and we have models, how to create model. We can see like how to create model and how to create models through command prompt, and create import model, export model, delete model, and replace model. All these things we can do. And then after that, when you talk about data dictionary, so in data dictionary, these are all the concepts are there. Let me connect to application and show you how it looks like and how we are doing. So can you see my screen? I hope you guys can see my screen. So where actually I'm just trying to show the application. Okay, so this is the application where we used to it's a kind of user interface where the application users end users will access the application, and they'll try to access the different modules, where I was discussing about multiple modules, right? like accounts payables, accounts receivables, and these are all the list of modules. Each module will be served for that specific requirement. Like when I'm talking about sales, that is
Hello,
accounts
Shiva.
receivables. Yeah,
Shiva,
yeah.
I just want to know the difference between account payable and account receivable.
Yeah, so definitely we'll come to know. So actually, accounts payables is the one which will be dealing with the payments actually, and payments in the sense whenever we do the purchases and we do the payments to the vendors, this is mainly related to the functionalities actually. Of course, we should know the basic functionalities. As a developer, as a technical consultant, we should understand the basic things. So accounts payables, why they have saying as accounts payables, we have to pay to the when we are doing purchase, then we'll do the payment to the vendors actually. So from where we purchase from the vendors. So that's what actually dealing with the accounts payables. Accounts receivables means like we will receive from the customers. So accounts receivables will be dealing with the customers, and where we will do the sales to the customers and we'll do the receivable from the customers. So accounts payables is we'll purchase from the vendors and we'll do the payments to the vendors. So that's how it is. It's payables and receivables. And parallelly, we'll have the procurement and let me come down, and we'll have the related to the purchases. We'll have procurement and sourcing, and for the sales, we'll have the sales and marketing again. Okay, so that's how like each module have their own functionalities to serve in that specific organization or in industries. So that will be all together into a single software called ERP. That's how it works. When you see like budgeting we have, and asset management, and cost accounting, consolidations, and inventory management, product information management, there are so many things we'll have actually in the modules. Transport management, right? So this is how UI actually user interface will have their access their respective modules, and they'll work on the real time. Okay, so that's how it is now. As we have discussed about the three-tier architecture, so let me show you. When generally assume that this is your environment which will be connected while you're working with the you know project. So you will get assigned with one online, whether it is online or kind of on premise. So what happens, they'll give you one RDP access. You will be connecting with your account, and once you connected to that account, so what happens, as I told you, there are three tier architecture, right? So one is client. This is what the client you will be connecting. So to get this client link, how do we get? You have to go to IAS manager, go to start, and let's look for search for IAS manager, Internet Information Services, as a run as administrator, right? So here what happens? So expand these sites. Here you can see AOS service. So AOS service is the service which I was talking earlier, client, AOS, and database. So AOS is a service which will execute all the business logics and which has been hosted in IAS Manager. I'll explain you why they have hosted here. And from this AOS, you can see the link here. Browse to this link. When you click this link, it will take you to that specific client access, user interface. Since I have already logged in, it's taking with my account. Okay, so when you try to access this link, you have to put your credentials, that is single sign on, like Microsoft Office 365 account that can be used to log into this account. That account, it might be already added to this application so that you can log in. So this is how it will be. Like this is the user, client, and we have seen AOS, which is an IAS manager, and the third one is database. So go to start SSMS. That means Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 18. Right click on this database and run as an administrator. So it will open the database, and I'll show you how it has been interrelated with our application, how it has been connected with our application. So what happens now? So it is a environment for the developer environment, which we call it as a one-tier environment, where we'll have all the three tiers in the same box. That is, you can access the client also, you can access the AOS, and you can access the database. So when it comes to the user perspective, the user will not have access to the AOS and database. He will only access in his laptop with the client through the browser. That's it. So as a developer, we'll have the VM access and we'll have the three tiers access. We call it as one tier environment. This one. Okay. So let this database opens. I'll show you database and we'll try to see how it works. Yeah, this is how database will open and it has to be connected with the server name, the default server name. We don't have to change anything else as of now here. And it's Windows authentication. We have to connect here. Once you connect here, and you can see multiple databases here. So out of them, the main database, the transaction database, which has been stored the data is AXDB. Okay, the default name is AXDB. That is the database will be connected with our application that will work, that will source the data. There are some other databases, one is management reporter database and the AX reporter server database, and there are some Azure storage related databases. Okay, so the main database is, when you talk about the database, we'll talk about only mainly about AXDB. Okay, so now when I go to user interface, so if I go to, so I hope you are clear, like the three tier architecture what we are discussing now here. So that's what I have shown in the application as how it looks like as a three tier architecture. One is client, we have seen the client by opening the in the browser level, and server we have seen that is AOS in IAS manager, and third one is database which has been seen in SQL Server database. Okay, so now I'm going back to the application. Sorry. So here what I'm trying to show here for you. So if you go to AX application and you can try to see how the database is, whichever I'm showing is correct, right or wrong, you can make sure in the system administration. Okay, collapse all of them and you go to inquiries, go to database, and you can see database information. So when you go to database information, you can see your database name, logon database, and you can see your logon server. So you can see that logon server, that is the same logon server, whether you have connected with the same logon server or not. You can see here. So DVHT 10029. So DVHT 10029. This is the logon server. This is the database. So that's how we can make sure that we have connected to the right server and right database. Okay. So this is how the three-tier architecture works. This is the basic thing which we have to know initially. Then later, I am just going to talk about the environment. So I hope you guys are clear as of now. Any other doubts till now?
Yeah, Shiva. So actually, I'm learning C Sharp and C++. Is there any useful to D365 for going forward?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's very useful for you because what happens, C Sharp is it's completely object-oriented programming. In D365 F&O, we are using object-oriented programming that is called X++. It's almost like similar to like C Sharp because we are using the Visual Studio, IDE. So that will help you a lot actually. If you are familiar with C Sharp, you can quickly learn the Dynamics 365 F&O.
Shiva,
So without
can you explain all in the coding part?
Yeah, I'm going further about it. We'll go to the coding part also. Before that, I just wanted to check is any other questions till now.
Mm.
Okay, so without having any prior knowledge, this course is not useful. Like even if the introductory level.
Without prior knowledge in the sense, what does it mean exactly? You're from computer side or you're from something else? Like
I'm
prior knowledge
functional
as a.
cons I'm functional consultant of D365 Finance and Ops and SCM.
All right. So yeah, application side definitely you'll have some knowledge, but when it comes to development side, so definitely when it comes to programming side, you should know the some basic knowledge, like some basics on object-oriented programming side, so that you can understand. Or else it will be little difficult, but you can learn that maybe quickly. It won't take much time for you
Okay,
because
then I think it's not
working
useful
with
for me.
yeah, because working with tables, working with forms and reports, that is fine. But when it is coming, when you're working with classes and writing some logic, so definitely you should know that.
Um,
Okay, then I'm quitting. Thank you.
Yeah.
can you can you
Just
talk
having one
about
question.
the can you talk about the programming part a little bit more? Because I haven't code. I have a
I'm sorry.
computer background, programming background, but I haven't do coding for more than 10 years. I'm not sure if I guess I'm a functional consultant now. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, even you're a functional consultant. So if you really wants to become as a full-time technical developer, as a technical side developer, so definitely you should have some programming basics. So or else if you want to become as a part-time, or you would like to do only dealing with some object level, creating some tables, forms and reports, and that some of the part you would like to work even without coding. So it's all depends if you want to become as a full-time as a programmer in D365 FinWo. So definitely you should know about programming basics.
Is a basic knowledge good enough, or because for CRM part, I think the plugins JavaScripts are quite not very complicated. How about the F&O part? Is it like a cancel with no code, low code as well?
That's what basic knowledge definitely we're not going to provide from the basics, because the basics will be covered in the in their career, where they're doing their graduation or post graduation in that area. So if you want to cover some basic knowledge, definitely you can find it in Google, I mean in YouTube, discuss talking about object oriented programming basics. So definitely you can cover like spending some 2 3 hours or 4 hours, you can cover that.
I know how to cover that. I mean, just to become a full-time F&O developer, um, how but is it how long will that take? I understand it depends on person, but I mean CRM coding is pretty easy to grab. How about the F&O part?
Yeah, F&O is a little more focus is required comparing with CRM. So definitely it will take 1 hour, 1 month or 1 month, 45 days to to become expert in this area. Okay. So I'm going back to the environment, and I'm opening the Visual Studio now. So where you can start working with the application and you can do development. So I'm just go to environment and right click on Visual Studio, and right click and run as administrator, and so that you can open the Visual Studio, where this Visual Studio is as I told you, like with the same single sign on, um, single sign on in the sense, with the same Microsoft Office 365 account we can log in with Visual Studio. The same user, with the same user they will provide the license with your account, online license. So once you log in with Visual Studio, Sorry, I hope, can you hear me?
Yes,
Fine.
bro,
Yes.
we can
So
hear you.
yeah, once you connect it to Visual Studio, so this is the place where you can see like um, you'll see the extensions option where you can see Dynamics 365. So this is the option which will be show some of the options for our Dynamics 365 F&O. And parallelly, when you connect it to Visual Studio, so what happens? Uh, Development architecture I'm going to talk about. So what happens? Development architecture. So here, whatever the objects you are going to create for the development, they will be stored in the form of XML files. Okay. So in this environment, every object, the standard objects or whatever the objects we are creating, that will be stored in the form of XML files. And generally, there are three important things here in this Visual Studio to work with the development. One is Solution Explorer, and Application Explorer, and Team Explorer. So first one is Solution Explorer, which has been opened here. Solution Explorer, which will be shown the solution with the project. So to create the new project, we have to go to New and we have to create the project. So before creating any project, we should have the model. Uh, model. So that model, which will stores the all the the objects which we are creating. That means it will be logical group of elements. That means without model, we cannot do any development in simple way. So to create the new model, I am just showing you simply to create the new model. Go to new model management and create a model. So you can specify a new model. For example, it's a training. I'm keeping it as a TRN training, and model publisher is TRN. And we have a layers that which we are going to discuss in further sessions. We can set the layers. Mostly we'll use one of the layer called var layer or cus layer. We'll use it mainly. I'm keeping it as a var layer. So we have to specify the model description. I'm keeping simply for training, and model display name also I'm keeping the same one. So this is how we create the model. I'm keeping it as a new to create a new package with this model, and then we can see the some of the standard models which is showing here. Standard models are package. So generally, it's a default. It will take one model without selecting at least one package. It will not allow us to continue. So there are like three major uh, packages are there. One is application suite, application platform, and application foundation. These three things are the packages which is having the all the standard objects in all the packages. I'll show you what is package and how it works. So we have to select at least one package and we have to continue. The reason why I have selected three packages means these three are will have the most of the standard objects in these packages, and parallelly these are all the these three are the comes under the application stack. These three packages. Anyway, we'll discuss that later. So I'm clicking next, and I'm creating as a new project by setting up this new model as a default one. So now, because I'm creating a new project, while once I done that model creation, so from there itself it is asking me to create a package. So I can set it up this as a new. I'm creating as a project name. Sorry, it's asking us to create a new project, not package. I'm sorry. So project name with the solution name. So I'm giving the project name, planning project. Create. It will be stored in users, local admin, sources, and repos. So your project is created. So this is the place you can start working on the development side. You can, if you see here, the layer is var layer, and the model has been taken as a TRN. So now what I'm going to do, this is about Solution Explorer, where you can start adding in new objects and working with the development side. And parallelly, if you go to View, we'll have another option called Application Explorer. So Application Explorer is the very other thing, like very important thing, which will have the AOT, that is Application Object Tree, right? So Application Object Tree contains all the elements, the objects or elements which is related to the standard and which we are creating our new objects also. So from the UI, whatever the form you're opening, whatever the process you are doing, and whatever the reports you're opening, everything has been from the AOT. Every object will be contains in the AOT. So this is the AOT. So where you will have the data types in AOT, data types and data model. So these data types contains extended data types, base enums related to data types. And again, here you can see tables, views, queries, data entities, and all these related to the data model objects will be related to the database level objects. Okay, and we have for every objects we have extensions that we'll discuss. Then code will have the classes and macros. And user interface will have the forms and tiles and menus and menu items and all those things. And analytics, this is for analytics. Reports we have business process and workflow, we have labels, resources, configuration, security, preferences and services, and system document. So this is how we'll have. For example, if I create any object here in this project, right click, go to add, take a new item. This is how you will get here Dynamics 365 items. And here if you go to code, you can create a class. If you go to data types, and you can create any one of the data type. If you go to data model, you can create a table and table related data model related objects. So right now for a simple example, I'm creating a table. For example, I'm creating a prefix, and we should maintain the prefix for our project. I'm maintaining trn. Trn is, so I'm creating for a bank table. For trn, I'm creating a bank table. Okay. This is how we can create the table. It will take some time. Just wait for a minute, some time until it creates. So this is how the table has been created. So once it is created, so it can be opened in designer. So open, it will be opened here, and we can see some nodes inside the table, fields, field groups, indexes, all those things. So to deal with the table, we can create different fields by using different data types. So you can add some account number and customer name. It's a bank table, right? I'm just keeping it as a customer name, address, customer PAN number. I mean, like for identification. Okay. So this is how we'll create some fields, and once that is done, we'll right click on the project and we'll rebuild, and we can do the synchronization of the table object, because whenever we are creating any objects related to table and data model, so we have to synchronize so that that will be compiled and updated with the database properly. Okay, so we have to do that. So that's how we'll deal with the table. And when it comes to code part, and parallelly we can create tables, forms, and all those things related to object level. When we are talking about coding part, so in table level we have methods. That methods we call it as override methods. There are some override methods which is provided by the Microsoft standard methods. These methods will be used, like it will be triggered on specific set of action when you are creating a new record, when you are saving a record, when you are changing the value in the field level. There are so many scenarios that each method will be used it. And we have events also. Okay, and in these places we'll use the coding actually. Even you can create your own methods to write your logic and reuse that logic, and we can write our own methods also in the table level. So this is the user defined method. So you can change the method and you can write your logic here, right? So that's how it works with the table level methods. And parallelly we'll have a classes. The class level also we have uh, we can create classes to write our logic. So Let me take one code. I'm taking one class. So I'm adding a new class. Permission. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me now? I think so. By creating these classes, we can create a class and we can create some methods in these classes. And by using this, methods, we can, call this method wherever we require. And based on that requirement, we can create, some of the methods in the classes. If you want to see some standard classes, you can see some of the standard classes here. You see some of the standard classes, which is there for the, example. So you can write the classes. You can see some of the classes like this. So why create apply form? So this is how we'll write the methods and we can call those methods. Okay. Don't get confused. This is just beginning to understand. I'm just telling you in high level. This is the info function. We can use it to show the information and when we are calling this. Okay. So this is how it looks like. So as I told you, like whenever we create a new objects or standard objects, it will be stored in the form of XML files. Um, so to see those files, how really we can see that? Just go to the uh, your computer, and you will have a generally service volume. You will have here. It is a trial version. You will have only one drive. If you go inside, you can see the AOS service. If you go inside the AOS service, you can go to the packages local directory, where you can have the all the modules, the packages, modules and packages in the form of packages folder. Okay. So what is my model which I have created? That is TRN, the TRN package folder. So inside you go, you can have the TRN model, TRN package, TRN model. Once you go inside this model folder, you can see all the list of folders related to that specific object. When you say like in AOT, we have different objects, right? Classes, tables, basic enums, extended data types, forms, and everything, right? For every object, you can see one folder which will store all those related objects. Okay. So if you see, I have created a class, right? You go to AX class. Sorry. If I go to where is AX class? Yeah, AX class. You can see my class which I have created now. And if you go to AX table, you can see the table object. So this is the AX table folder. You can see the TRN bank table, which I have created now. So that's how you can see all the objects in the packages local directory. If you go to standard models, if you go to measurement, you can see inside measurement model. Inside, if you go in this model, you can see all the objects related to this model, that model, because these objects are standard objects, but you can see those objects here. See here, you can see all the measurement related objects tables, AX tables. So that's how you can see all the standard objects also in the packages local directory. So this is how the development architecture in the file format. But this is the development environment you will see in this way. When you talk about UAT or pre-prod or production or different environments, which is two-tier environments, there definitely you will not have in this file structure format. There it will be different. Okay. So this is how it looks like. Any doubts and clarifications required?
Shiva, just let us know that how we will be able to export the data which is present inside this ERP to the outside world.
Yeah. Sorry. What you are trying to ask exactly? Data. What you wanted to
I'm
do?
saying whatever data which is present inside this ERP box, how we can make it out. Will you be training us on that part as well?
We have a concept called data management actually to import and export the data. So we will use that actually. So actually, as per the syllabus, we have the concept here to do that data entities concept, which will talk about the data management.
And will it be real time or it will be an async process?
No, what exactly you want? You wanted to push the data from one environment to another environment, or
So let's say there is a table, vendor table is there, and we are having let's
hmm.
say 10,000 record inside it, right? Now one of my
Okay.
user inserted new record in the vendor table on daily basis. They are inserting the record. I want that record to be present in real time to the external environment.
That has to be where it has to go. That extra record which has been inserted.
It has to be go to some external APIs basically,
Yeah, that
so
for
that
that we
someone
have
else
to
can
do.
consume them.
Yeah, that we have to do by using integrations. That integrations part has to be covered actually by using data entities actually. So we can create, since it is a vendor table, for vendor table we have data entity. So by using data entity, we can expose the data where
Yeah,
the
yeah,
third
that's
party
what
tool.
I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. That part will be covered under this training, right?
Yeah, that can be covered. Yeah.
Okay. And Shiva, you
Hi
said that
Shiva.
under the database section, we have the information of database, but for production, we do not have the information available with us. So, is there any way of accessing the production environment via SQL?
No, for production actually we will not have access. We'll have only user interface. So for production, whichever we wanted to do, we have to raise a request to Microsoft, and based on the request, they will do it actually. Production related stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So any other doubts? If you have any other doubts, I can clarify,
Shiva,
or else we can migrate.
is there a
Sorry,
way
please.
to extend the trial environment because you said it's valid for only 2 hours, right?
No, definitely there is no any option. That too in trial environment, we cannot practice more than 2 hours. That even our whatever we have practiced, we cannot get back again next time also. That is the big issue. So that's the reason we are trying to use the on-premise environment. That I'll tell you in the further sessions. You should
Okay.
have the at least 16 GB environment, 16 GB RAM, and at least i5 latest version, at least minimum i5 processor, 256 GB SSD, so that we can configure and we can use the in local machine.
Shiva, while we are, I mean, you're conducting this session, I mean, so will we also discussing few business scenarios, I mean, for the development, from the development perspective, right? Say,
Yeah,
to meet up
yeah,
any
definitely.
business
I'll
scenarios.
take some scenarios. Like I would say, like I will take like some shopping complex or any jewelry management or any other transport management. So one of the scenario will take, and based on that scenario, we'll try to cover the concept. It's not like directly I'll create a tables and process.
Okay, and this example will evolve day by day, right? I mean, like project kind of
Yeah, of course, it's kind
this
of
thing.
like real-time project, right? When you talk about transport management, if you see transport management, you will create transport-related tables, and you will try to create number sequences for that, and then you'll try to implement like one functionality by one functionality slowly related to transport management, and parallelly we'll try to cover these concepts by with that transport management concepts. So when you talk about you know packages, and we'll try to create model and packages, right? So we'll create a model, then we'll try to use the when we are talking about data types and creating tables and all those things, we'll create related to that scenario. It's not like directly I'll create some new tables, we'll create to that scenario.
Okay, great. And another thing is that apart from the these session recordings, do you receive any material from your side, or just only recording materials?
No session recording, maybe you can check with that team, Visualpath team.
Yeah,
They
I
will
know. Yeah,
provide
yeah,
you.
yeah. We
Yeah,
will. Yeah, yeah.
material
We will
part
have the session
definitely.
recordings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
material part, we have our own material which we are maintaining already. So that is also provided by
Okay.
Visualpath. The team will provide it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And another question is that, for example, the role authorization. Okay. So there is
Hmm.
already a part I can see. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
My point is that, yeah, my point is that from the functional side, so when we are managing the roles, so there are several steps to, I mean, provide roles based on the menu items. Okay.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
but I'm not pretty sure. I just saw. I mean, so my question is that, so in this course, so you will also guide us to find out a menu item from the window, and then we can also figure out how to manage access for that specific menu item. Right? We can have that idea from this course as well. Right? Shiva?
Yeah, definitely. See, when you see like roles from UI, so definitely by using the menu item only, you can see that roles, right? Menu item in sense like role, duties, and privileges. So uh, by using these three objects, we will try to deal with the security part. So when you see from UI, if you see there is any role, so definitely the role might has been created in the backend side. That I'll explain you how to figure out by using the object level to figure out from the UI also. Definitely we'll come to know that in the discussions.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
So as I told you, whatever the objects, whatever the options you are seeing from the UI, that every option has been, located in AOT. That is application object tree. So I think so. You guys were there when I'm discussing. So every object, every option which we are accessing from the UI. So if you see for any module, so any object you are accessing that has been located in the AOT in the form of forms or menu items or roles or whatever it is.
Okay, okay, great. No,
Right?
uh, why I'm asking this, because in real life, for example, I try say I do not want to give access to, I mean, any, for example, a specific field to another user. But so
This
when
conference will now be
I am
recorded.
trying,
Yeah, I'm
this
sorry, there was some
recording
mistakenly
is,
happened. Please tell me.
yeah, yeah. So when I try to figure out which role is assigned for that text box, and whether that role is assigned to I mean,
uh,
I was
assigned to
trying to figure
each
out,
person. So
and I couldn't find.
there should be some
Yeah.
reports for that to generate
Oh,
role assignment reports.
yeah.
We can try to figure it out. I can try to
Okay.
you
So
know
then we can do. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Fine.
Shiva, I had a
So just one
question
last thing.
regarding the syllabus part that you're going to cover, right? Specifically
Mhm.
around LCS, DevOps, in terms of Azure DevOps, Git, and VSTS. Would you be covering those topics as well?
Yeah, Azure DevOps definitely I can cover because we can take the access by using trial account. I can show you like how to create branches and how to do the check-ins and all those things. I can definitely cover. Yeah.
Okay, great. And what about LCS?
LCS part, yeah, LCS part also I can cover by using the trial account.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any other
hello,
question?
Vijay. Hello,
Yeah.
Shiva. Yeah, just I'm adding one colleague is asking about security role. You know,
Yeah, please
in
tell me.
yeah, in D3 AX 2012, so we have tool, right? Security tool. So it
Mhm.
will integrate with the EX22 and then you can check the, which module and which menu item have access. So do we have any tools for D365?
So especially for D365, we don't have any tool, but in application itself, we can directly check that in a report and we can check that things in the application itself. They have given more flexibility in D365 and now.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So any other things to be discussed or we can wind up for today? I am hoping everybody
Uh,
is good with your points. I mean your queries. So I'm just winding up for today. Then we'll catch up by tomorrow from tomorrow's session. Any other questions? Or somebody is saying something?
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
just
I have a doubt.
one final. Sorry,
Yeah, please.
please go ahead. Okay, one final thought. Just, I mean, how many sessions you are planning to deliver this content?
Sessions will be
I
it
mean,
goes
how many
around
classes?
yeah around 30 to 40 sessions it may happen. I would say like up to 40
Oh,
sessions. It depends on kind of to cover the syllabus. It's not like around sessions. I need to it's go around up to 40 sessions.
okay, okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
any other questions? Yeah, please.
Yes. So I just want to know the JavaScript. Is there any relation to the X++ code and JavaScript?
No, there isn't any relation with JavaScript and X++. No, if you are
Uh,
no Java object-oriented programming, core Java or basic.NET or C++ object-oriented programming, so the same OOPS concepts are there in D365 FNO as a X++ language. So if you say like .NET, you have classes. In Java, you have classes. Here also we have classes. There we have inheritance and inheritance concepts. And here also we have the same concepts. So we have like object-oriented programming concepts in X++. That's it. With the scripting, we don't have any relation here.
okay. Yeah.
I hope we are
So
good to
Shiva,
go for today. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me.
yeah, as you said, inheritance in X++. So in
Hmm?
X++, a single inheritance and multiple inheritance.
We have single inheritance. We have multiple inheritance also. Okay. So
Okay, okay,
to use that, we have a different methodology called interface concept to work with that.
okay,
Right.
okay,
So we can
okay.
definitely achieve that. So I'm hoping everybody is good to go now. We'll catch up from next session. Have a good time and have a good day for all of you guys. Good night.
But, and Shiva, one more thing I have a doubt
When will be
regarding
the next
Visualpath.
section? When will be the next section tomorrow, the same time?
I hopefully at the same time. I think so. Visual Park team members they'll schedule and they'll update with you.
Okay, thanks.
All
Bye.
right. Thank you guys. Have a good day and good time. Bye bye.